Hello and welcome back to my channel. Python for Engineers is our series, and this time I'm welcoming you to part 2, which is Introduction to Python for Engineers part 2. And here we shall be looking on how to install Python. It's something that most of you would like to know, how to install Python, and it's a very important concept. It's a very important thing to know when you are learning Python, and whenever you want to know Python, of course you have to know how to install it. It's not just about using it, it's not just about coding, it's also about knowing how to set up an environment where you can be able to use Python, so that you even if you get a new machine or you go to work in a company, or you have a friend who wants to who needs Python, you can show them how to install it, and you can do it with ease without panicking or without having any issues with that. So I will install Python, and so we will look at the steps to installing Python. So we start with the first one. Of course, the first one is to visit the official python.org website. Python.org website is the official website where you will find all the official releases of the Python interpreter. That's where you get the Python to download the Python, and I'll be showing you how to do so. That's where you'll find all the releases, all the past releases. The creators of Python are so they are so friendly, and they have ensured that all the releases of Python are still maintained in the website. So the community, Python community, has ensured that after a Python release is in the market, even after a new one comes, the previous one is still available for you to download and access. And remember that Python is a free source. It is a free source. You can be able to access the interpreter without paying anything, and that's the good thing about Python. So we'll be looking at how to visit python.org website. The other thing is, from the website, choose the Python version of your choice and which suit your OS, that is Windows, Mac, etc. This is a very important thing to note. When you go to the website, to python.org, you have to choose which OS you are using, which operating system you are using. Some of you might be on Windows, Mac, Linux, Ubuntu, and so you have to choose where are you. Are you using a Windows machine? Are you using a Mac machine? Or are you using a Linux machine? And according to your OS, you have to choose. You have to select that I'm using a Windows machine, so I will download Python, which can be able to run on the OS, because different applications are made to run on different OS. So if you download a Python interpreter which is meant to be used on Windows, it won't run on a Mac, because it is designed to run on an Windows OS, but now you are putting it on a Mac OS, so there will be issues, it won't run. So make sure you know the machine you're using, and so you download the relevant Python version. The other thing, after the download, you click on executable file to run it. The same way you download applications and install them is the same way you click on the Python to install it. Ensure to check the add Python to path, as this adds your Python to the system variables, making it accessible from your shell. This is one of the most important steps. This is where many people fail, and this is where many people think, oh, now installing Python is so hard. It's not hard. You have to ensure that you check the add Python to path. It's very important, and in this video I shall emphasize on this one, add Python to path, because this one allows you to add Python, to give the location of Python to your system, to add Python to the system variables. That means you can be able to access Python from the shell. If you're using Windows, you can be able to access it from the Windows PowerShell. If you're using Linux, you'll access it from the Linux shell. If you're using Mac, you'll be able to access it from the command prompt. And so in every OS you'll be using, you'll be able to access Python from the shell. And this is very important. Even your interpreter can be able to locate Python because it is in the system variables, can be able to check it and know where Python is, and can be able to link with the Python interpreter to execute your code which you write in your IDEs. So this is a very important concept and a very important thing, and I will be showing you how to really do that. The other thing is, after installation, you can open your shell and run the following command to ensure Python has been successfully installed in your system. So which command is this? Python space, you have to space, there has to be a space in Python hyphen version, 2 hyphens, then a version, then you write the word version, and everything has to be as I'm showing you on screen. It has to be in small case. Don't use capital letters, don't use the uppercase, you have to use the lowercase. So on some machine, according to the version of Python you've installed, you'll use the first command, Python, then space, hyphen version, or Python 3 space hyphen version for some Python versions. So if you try the first command and it doesn't work, don't panic, go to the second one. Now if both don't work in your machine, then you have to uninstall Python. You have first to uninstall it, then you reinstall it. Although Python has also these options of you can repair it, modify it, but that one I'll be talking about it later on. But right now I want you to focus on how to install Python and set up a Python environment. So this Python space hyphen version is a command in which you use to check whether your Python has been added. Has your Python been installed successfully, and has it been added in the system variables? That one I'll be showing you. And these commands, you have to note that they are written in the shell. They are written in the shell. Whether you are on Mac, you are on Windows, on Linux, they are written in the shell. For Windows, it is in the Windows PowerShell. Next, note that it is 2 hyphens and then the word version. I've clarified on that already. So upon running this, the Python version installed into your system will be displayed if everything was installed correctly. So what does this mean? When you run the command Python with the attribute double hyphen version, it should display to you the Python version you have installed. Let's say you've downloaded the Python version 3.78. It will write for you there 3.8 Python 3.78 will be displayed because it has been installed. If it is version 3.10, it will display that one. So if you don't get that one, it means the Python hasn't been added in your system variables, or there was a problem with the Python installation. So it's good to verify, because it's not just enough to install and just believe it's there. No, we have to verify and be sure that everything is working correct. We have to test and make sure before we start writing our code that everything, the environment, the interpreter, everything is well set and ready to go. If it's not displayed, kindly try installing Python once again and check again until everything works just fine. So here, before you install that Python, I suggest go to your apps and install Python. You can uninstall Python, you can do it this way. You go and install Python, then you reinstall it again, and make sure you check the add path to add Python to path, or you can modify it and it will give you option to add Python to path. So any can do, but I want you to go with and uninstall it first, then install it again, and so that you can master and know how to set up the Python uh, the Python interpreter well and add it to the system variables without any issues. That's what I want you to understand and really master, not just get it, but understand and master it, so that even if your friend comes or you are in a place you are asked to set up a Python environment, it will be so easy for you. It will be just a walk in the park for you. It will be just very easy for you. And don't be intimidated by any step. Once you do something over and over again, you get better at it. Like they say, practice makes perfect. But here, I want you to have a positive mindset with Python, knowing that it's a very friendly language, other than some languages. I don't want to discourage. Maybe you are a Java programmer and you are here, but you'll realize if you are a Java programmer, like myself, I do Java, you realize that when you come to Python, it has a very friendly syntax. You know, like the amount of code you have to write to do a certain task in Python, you have to write like thrice that amount in languages like Java or C Sharp. It's so I really appreciate the what Python is doing for us in the backend. It's a very good language. It is able even to handle memory. If you are coming from C, you are coming from C, you know how it is to design programs, and you have to handle memory. You have to use those functions, malloc, calloc. You have to handle the memory. You have to allocate memory. You have to use pointers. You have to do all that work. But here Python does it for you. It does it for you, and this makes it a very suitable language. And just to add, remember Python is a very big and versatile language. We are using it in building AI models, in IoT, and many other things. So now I think it's a good time that I show you how to really install Python, and I show you how to go to the website and do everything just fine. So stick around and let me show you how to do it. So guys, now let me show you how to download the Python. So just come to your browser and search for this Python. You search for python.org. That is the official Python website, so you can download your Python uh, interpreter. So we'll come here. So far there are so many versions of Python which have been released, and we will check it. So you come here to downloads, click on downloads, and here you can see looking for Python with a different OS. So if you are on Windows, you can click on Windows, on Linux, Mac OS, or other. By default, this one is on Windows. It can be able to know the system, so it's on Windows. And the latest version of Python, as the time I'm recording this video, is version 3.12. So you will come and click on download, and you can see your Python has begun downloading. So now you can wait. So you can wait, and after your download is complete, you'll come and check it in your downloads folder or the folder in which you've selected. So on our case, let's keep waiting. Let's wait till it's done, because I want to show you step by step. We're not going to skip anything. I'm going to show you everything as practical as it is, so you can have a good understanding and know how to install Python all by yourself. Everything. So you're going to wait, not skipping. So let's wait for it to complete downloading. So as that continues, could be checking other things. So down here you can see the active Python releases which have been released. You can see there's version 3.8, 3.9, 3.10, and here you can see the various aspects or attributes of each version of Python. So you can see 3.8, its maintenance status is it is security. It was first released in 2019. You can see on 14th of October, and its end of support will be on 10th, 2024. That is next year. The release schedule, you can see it. So right now you see here there's a pre-release of 3.13, and it will be first released on, you can see here on first, it was first released on 1st of October, but I don't advise you to ever download a pre-release version of Python, because a pre-release version is usually not stable, so you could run into various issues. So avoid doing that. You could just, actually you can come and download maybe 3.11 or 3.10. 3.10, it wasn't that quite stable, but it was, you can download. I could suggest 3.11 is very good. At the time I'm recording this video, it's quite good. 3.12 you've seen, it's just a new release, so there's still some issues with it. 3.8, you can see it is secure. 3.9 is okay. So here you can choose the version you want, and here is where you download them. This is why you click. If you click here on download, you can download Python version you want. So, and the good thing is Python is a free, is the Python interpreter is free source. It's an open source, so you don't have to pay for anything. You just download it for free. So it's friendly. You can see all these versions. 3.12 is the latest. 3.11, 11.6, all these 3.10. You can see all these download versions. Let's see. You can go back up to when when these versions was started being released. Go back, go back. You can see up to version 2.01. Uh, and right now we are dealing with Python 3. So kindly, if you want to work with the most advanced features of Python, kindly avoid downloading the old versions of Python. As of now, the minimum version I would suggest would be 3.78 and above. It will help you at least work with most of the advanced features of Python. So I think our download is complete. We can check here. You can see my download is complete. So you can either click here to access the file. So let's go to our download folder and see it. So we our downloads. So you can see it's here, Python. So after downloading it, you come and click on it. You come and click on it like that. So we'll just ignore that one. So let me show you how Python should be installed. So now here's the part I want you to really pay attention to, because it's the most important part in installation of Python. So here we have, you can install Python in two different ways. You can install it with its default settings. That is, it will be installed with everything which you need. That is defaultly with the features that you will commonly use with Python. Or you can do customize your installation. At customize installation is where you choose, you change the location where Python would be installed. You can either remove some features or add some features to Python. Now, I recommend you use the first option, which is to just use the default settings, because it will make sure you're not using Python, you find yourself running into various issues. So just use the first one. And but when you become an expert so much in Python, you can just go to customize. But I recommend you to always use the first one. So now here comes the most important aspect. These two check. So this one is always checked. Use admin privileges when installing py.x is always checked. But here the other one, add python.x to path, is not checked. So this one, add python.x to path, ensures that Python is added to the system variables. And this is very crucial. It ensures that python.x is added to the system variables, and that way you can be able to access Python from your shell. If you're using Windows, you'll be able to access it from the shell. If you're using Linux, you'll be able to access it from the Linux shell. But here, in my case here, I'm using a Windows desktop, laptop. You can see that in a Windows machine, you will be able to access Python in the Windows PowerShell if and only if you check on add python.x to path. And except that you have other personal issues, kindly always check this. This actually, I don't see a reason why you wouldn't want to check this. If you really want love yourself or your work and what you're doing, kindly always check this one. Always check add python.x to path. Always check. Always make sure you check it. Then after checking it, you can continue to installing. You can continue to install in Python. So you will just come and click on install now. So on my case, I already have Python installed, so I won't be installing this Python. So I won't be installing it, but I've shown you after you click install now, it will just install, and that is it. Okay. So guys, always make sure, this is the point I wanted, because many people struggle. I mean, why can't I access Python? My Python is not my text editor. You're using Visual Studio, it cannot find Python. What's happening? It's because you did not add Python to the path. Always add Python to the path, add python.x to path, so that it can be added to the system variables. Because if you don't do it here, you'll have to do it manually. That one is for another video where I can show you how to add it manually if you didn't check it here. But the best thing is to always check it here. So if you find yourself you're not being able to access your Python, always come back to reinstalling it. Just reinstall it, come and check, add python.x to path, and from there you can click install now, and everything will just start as you can see. Okay, so on myself, as I said, I won't be installing these I won't be installing Python because I already have it. So now, after installation, what's next? That's the main question. How do I know that my Python has been installed? So let me show you how you do. So you come here on your Windows Start menu, or on your menu, you right click and you go to Windows PowerShell. Windows PowerShell. So you open your shell. Open your shell. If you're on Linux, open your shell. If you're on Mac, just go to your command prompt and open it. So here, there are two ways to confirm. You can either use Python, so you Python and space, then two hyphens, version. Okay, let me increase the size of the window so you can see it clearly. So let me delete it and say and show you again. So here you can type Python, okay, all in small letters, use space, then hyphen version. Okay, that is it. So on some machines, probably this will always work. It will always give you the version of Python. Okay, in most of the machine, it will give you the version of Python. Now, if you use this method, Python, and it doesn't show you, don't panic. Kindly don't panic. You're thinking, oh, something is wrong. Don't panic. The other way, it could be that the version of Python you've installed is not using its interpreters, is not just Python. So you could now use Python 3 that way, space again, hyphen version that way. Okay, then you press enter. You press enter after writing the whole command. You press enter. Okay, now it will give you the name of, or the version of the Python you are using. So you can see in my case I'm using the Python version 3.910. Okay, 3.910. So this is how it works. So if you ever write this Python, the first one, this first command, Python space hyphen version, and it doesn't give you anything, kindly, as well as it has not told you command not found, kindly don't panic. Come and then try the other one. Now, here's the catch. If you try both, and you end up not having the Python version being shown on your console, or on your shell, or in your command prompt, then there is a problem in how you install your Python. There's a probability you did not add it to the path, and so go back to the setup that you downloaded and reinstall the Python. Reinstall the Python afresh and add it and check on how I showed you. You just make sure, and I will show it again to you because I want you to get this concept right. You make sure you come and check here. You check this box. It always comes unchecked. So you have to check it, and then you come and click on install now, and everything will be fine. And then after that, you and then after that, you come here and type. I've told you if you try the first one, it doesn't. So on my case, we've seen that Python 3 is what works. So Python 3 space hyphen double hyphen version, and then you press enter. So it gives you Python 3.9.10. So that's how you can be able to access or to know that you have installed Python. Now, what about you want to use to write small to use Python interpreter to access it from your Windows PowerShell. Now to access it, you just come and write Python. Now if this command, the first one, Python space underscore version is what worked in your machine, you just type Python here. If you type Python, open it will open for you the Windows interpreter console. It will open for you the Python console. That is if in your machine the Python version you installed happens to have worked with this Python, the first one that I wrote, Python space hyphen hyphen version. If it worked with this one and it showed you your version, then you're supposed to be using this command here. But in my case, it didn't work with the first one, so it works with Python 3. Okay, so here on my case, I will type or Python 3. After doing that, I press enter. Okay, now it will show me the version of Python I'm using, 3.910, and now it has opened the Python prompt, the Python console, in which the Python console just actually, it comes with the interpreter. It helps you to be able to write lines of Python code. It doesn't have those much of debugging features and whatever, and that's why we use IDEs like Visual Studio, we have PyCharm, we have Sublime Text, and many other more, just to name a few. But here you can be able to write a few lines of code. For example, if you wanted to print hello world in Python, so you can come and write print that way, and we say hello world. But yeah, remember this has to be in double quote or in single quote because it's a string. It has to be in double quote because it's a string. And then after typing the command, you press enter. And here and there it goes, hello world. It brought for you hello world. Now let's say for example we wanted to print hello world. Wanted to print hello world like, let's say 10 times. We could write a simple code like let's say we want to print hello world 10 times. So we can say, for example, we say hello, not even hello world. Hello is so quite common. Let's say Vincent circuit corner. Okay, so this is Vincent circuit corner. So we want to print this. So for example, we could say, so for let me make it easier for you because I know someone might be watching this video and is a beginner. So to do this, we use a loop. So I say for. Now this is how we write loops in Python. For. So we could say for k in range. We want to print it 10 times, so we'll use 11. If you're not familiar with Python syntax, kindly I will explain it all. So for k in range, that one, we say print. What do you want to print? Vincent circuit corner. Okay, so that way we want to print Vincent circuit corner. Want to print Vincent circuit corner 10 times. So after that, we press enter. So it's saying there's an indentation error. They've said there's an indentation error. I want you to really pay attention to this. I have done this on purpose. So kindly don't say, this guy is doing the wrong thing. No, I've done this on purpose to show you that unlike other programming languages which you've done like C, C++, Java, C Sharp, Python does not use semicolons. It uses indentation. So how should I have written this code? Okay, you have to indent. If, for example, this code, this for block, it is a loop. Any code that has to be inside it cannot be at the same margin with. It has to be inside. It has to maybe to start from here, and by default it has to be. Now if I press enter here, let me show you the right way to do it. It has to be by default it is always around 4 spaces from the beginning of the block in which you are. So for here I would press space 4 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And from there, now I could start print Vincent circuit corner. So now let's see whether we get an error. And voila, there it is. Okay, this is how you do it. So in the first example, I did it on purpose for you to see how an error can be generated. You have to be very careful with Python. Python never uses semicolons. It uses indentation. And this is the catch, and it's the beauty of Python. Oh, you don't have to keep stressing on semicolons or whatever. Oh, I forgot to put a semicolon. My code is not working. No, there's no semicolons in Python. You only use indentation, and this makes Python code very smart, very beautiful to read, easy to debug. On that easy aspect, I mean easier than other languages, because I don't want to give you the illustration that it is so easy to debug Python code. No, I want to give you the illustration that it is easier because of its indentation. You can be able to spot where you have made problems that are much more easier than other languages. So let's see whether it's 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Look at it well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And you might be wondering, Vincent, you say 10 times. Why are they 11? So, why are they 11? So, let me explain to you. So, here I said for k in range 11. Now, in programming, if you're coming from other programming languages, you know this thing does not start counting from. It doesn't start counting from 1. It starts from 0. So for it, it's counting these as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's how it is counting. Okay, so it from 0 to 10. But in the real aspect, these are 11. These are 11. So if you want to print 10 objects, just put 10 here. Okay, you just put 10 here because it's counting from 0. It's counting from we talk of from 0. So I hope you guys have seen what happens, but on a little sense, let me show you another way we could have done this. Now when we talk of range, actually let me take that back. If I would have said here 1, if I could have said 1, okay, what do you suggest it would, how many times do you suggest it would print statement I put here? Like for example, let's say, okay, that one. So it has printed once. Okay, but I'm saying, let me take that back. And everything I'm telling you, I'm telling you a mistake. I'm illustrating to you because everything I'm saying, like for example, what I've said in the past is wrong. It's wrong in Python. In another language, it could have been correct, but here it's wrong. So just take a look and see what's happening here. So here for k in range of 1, so it printed once, so it's starting from 1. But now here is the catch. Let me show you something. When you are dealing with the range, let's say you can use what we call slicing. If I wanted to print 10 items, now what happens if I use this syntax I've written right now? Now, look at what is happening here. For k in range, you see it has brought an error. What is it saying? It's saying invalid. It's saying invalid syntax. So, what's the correct way to do it? So, you uh, you come here and you are saying that you want to print something in a certain range. So I want to show you all the mistakes done and show you the correct thing to do. Now someone could come and say 0 like that one. So what will happen? Let's see, is it correct? No. You said invalid syntax. It's an invalid syntax. Okay. Another way, because when you write this code, you'll be able to know where did I make a mistake? Where is the error coming from? Where is the error coming from? So some you would find people writing the accounts like this. I want you to note. So you find some writing like this, and you're wondering, okay, what's the problem? What's the problem? So you can see for k in range, you find people putting things like this, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work, and you wonder why is it not working? This, as I've told you, is so guys, as I've shown you, these are the common errors that many people tend to do. Many programmers or people, they tend to forget. And so I hope you're getting to learn from these errors. I'm doing all this on purpose, telling you all these errors, even talking on purpose, so that you can really understand. Because the best thing is not just knowing how to do it right, but knowing how to make it right when it is wrong. Someone comes to you, they have a problem, their code is not working. Now, what happens if you've never seen something done wrong? You'll start to panic because you don't understand. So I've shown you one of the problems that happens in the for loops. You'll find people doing this mistake. So let me show you the right way to do this. So here we write our for loop. So we write for k in range. Now we want to start from a certain range to another one. Now the first, remember here when I said for k in range, now we wanted to print 10 items, right? But you put 11. You found that the for loop does what? It prints 11, and this is a mistake people do. Now someone, as I said, I wanted to print 10 items. They might use this syntax, and you've seen this syntax work does not work as that person might be thinking, that because I've put 11 here it will reach to 10. And I will tell you why there's that confusion. The confusion comes with this other syntax I'm about to show you. Now if the same person said for k in range from 0 to 11, we are using our 11 that way. So now remember to indent, so 1 2 3 4. So now print, we do our thing, Vincent circuit corner. Okay, that is it. So guys, I hope you are being able to see. Let's that way. So I want you to still compare this one. We've seen that these ones are 11 for k in range 11, but we wanted 10, but they are 11. So this syntax, the people who get to confuse this syntax and this syntax. Okay, so now let's see what happens if we tell it this way. Enter. So now here they are. So let's count how many are these. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You say this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, 11. So you might be asking me, Vincent, why are they 11? So this is the reason they are 11. They are the same as this one for k in range, this one. So this syntax is actually the same with this one. So what is the catch here? Why would someone be even have a confusion? I know up to now it's still not clear. So this, lighting it this way and lighting it this way is all the same thing. But with this same 11, I can still get 10 items here. How do I do that? Now we come here. I change this 0 to 1. Okay. Watch very carefully. Let me bring this up a little bit because I want you to watch carefully. Now if I press enter, then remember the spacing. Okay. Don't forget about the spacing. Now, how many items do you think it will print with this syntax? So if you guessed 10, yes, if you guessed 10, then probably is it 10 or 11? Guess 10 or 11. So I won't be telling you. So let's just watch it. So here they are. We are counting them manually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They are 10. Okay? They are 10. They are 10. And now you might be wondering, Vincent, why are they 10? Well, as we still have our 11 here. And the only thing you've done is change the 1. Now, here's the catch. And now this is what brings confusion. This here, the first value, is the starting index. And this here is the ending index. Now, when you tell Python to do an action in this range, to start from here to here, from 1 to 11, it will start from index 1. It will start from 1. It will start from 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it will do the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. When it reaches 10, it stops at there. It does not include the last index. So it will not reach to 11. So here it won't reach to 11. If you wanted it to reach to if you wanted to get 11 items here, you would have to make this 0. This one you'd have to make it 0, or else you'd have to make this 11 to 12. So that 12 can be excluded, and then it can count from 1 to 11. So that's one of the things that bring confusion in this syntax of the for loop. So I have, and this is the reason you should watch this video till the end, because I'm sure someone who had watched this video up to this point, maybe up to this point, thinks this guy is lying to us, or someone who had watched this video up to this point would think what, this guy is giving us the wrong information. And that's why it's crucial for you to stick to this video till the end. If you stop from here, you might even get lost. But up to now, you are clear and you have understood something about this for loop. It's not our main, it's not part of what I should teach you. But right now, I still wanted to mention about it so that you can see it and we can at least have a certain code, because here we are doing Python. We can have something to have learned apart from just installing Python. So you have learned about how to use this for loop using a range. So this is a starting index, this is the ending index, and you have to know that the ending index is never included. So for example, let's do one more last example. So let's put this one to 1. Now if I wanted to print the 11 items when this is 1, I would have to make this one become 12. I put an index higher. So enter. Let's see what it prints for us. So that way, let's see. So now these ones should be automatically 11. If you guess 11, you're correct. So let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. So this last index is never included. So it will start from 1 up to 11. When it reaches 11, it stops. So now you can plug in different values from here to here. in your ranges, and you can practice with that. So now we want when now let me show you how to exit from the Python prompt, because right now, yes, we are in the Windows PowerShell, but though we are in the Windows PowerShell, we have opened the Python prompt. We are accessing it from the PowerShell or the shell. So now to leave it, we have to type in another command, which is exit with parentheses, like that. Kindly do not, I know it might, some people, let me show you, I want to show you everything. Some people might write exit, and when you do that, there's nothing. But Python is so, it's so friendly that it tells you what to use. It tells you use exit or control and Z plus return to exit. But here we want to learn the commands. So now when you use exit, I will show you where exit is shown. Exit does not work on Python prompt. To leave the Python prompt, you have to type in exit with the parentheses, like that. So from there, now you have left the Python prompt. So now let's clear our shell. This is a shell command. It's not clear. When you write clear, you can be able to to get rid of the stuff in, to clear your screen on the shell. So now we have learned about the exit command. Don't forget about the Python 3, how to check the version. Okay, all these things you've learned. So now I believe we are good to go. So when you want to open Python, I've showed you either use this Python 3 or Python. So in my case, it's Python 3. Now we are on the Python prompt to exit. Use exit that way. Okay. So with all these, I believe you are well equipped to download Python and install it for even your friends and show them. Kindly reference your friends to watch this video and they will understand. So from here, you've learned something extra, and so now you know how to use uh, to install Python, and how to check whether to, and how to add it to the system variables, and how to access it from the Windows PowerShell. That's been learned. I think you're at a good position to continue using Python and learning more about Python and how to apply it in engineering. And as I told you from the beginning of this series, it's not only in engineering that you can use Python. Python is a very big and versatile language and programming language, very versatile language. So you can use it in so many fields: business, in artificial intelligence, in IoT, that is Internet of Things. You can use it in the back end as a scripting language for developing the web. And so Python is a very useful multi-purpose programming language. So let me show you where exit is used. Now exit is a command that you could use it on shells. In Windows PowerShell supports, also on Linux you can use it. So if I type in exit here and press enter, it will be the same as coming here and clicking on this. When you want to quit an application, you just click on this. But this is a shell. You can type, instead of coming here with your mouse or to click this one, you can just type in the command exit and enter. You leave the PowerShell. So with that, guys, I hope you've learned quite a lot on how to download and install Python. Don't forget about everything, and I wish you guys to be able to do the very best. So now, right now, let's look at some other few details. So guys, let's now look at commonly used IDEs. IDEs, they mean integrated development and environment. So there are various IDEs you can use for writing Python code, and each have their own features, such as auto-completing code and much more. Like I have shown you, you've seen that the Python interpreter and the Python console is not that, doesn't have those debugging features and features like auto-completing code, and it doesn't provide a lot as far much as Python code writing and formatting is involved. So we usually intend to download IDEs and use them. We have various amazing IDEs out in the market, but here I will just outline one of the most used and trusted IDEs. So some commonly used IDEs are Visual Studio, PyCharm, Notepad++. Actually, when you look at Notepad++ and Notepad, they're like, although now Notepad++ is much more advanced than Notepad itself. The Notepad that comes installed with the Windows users. We have Vim. Vim is actually a very good text editor, very good IDE. We also have Sublime Text, and we have Jupyter Notebook and Anaconda. Actually, you could just download Anaconda, and Anaconda comes with its distribution of Python, which is the Anaconda Python distribution, and in it comes with various IDEs. So in my case, and in the course of this series, I'll be mostly using Visual Studio. I chose Visual Studio, and that doesn't mean other IDEs are not good. They are good as well. Yeah, other IDEs are good. PyCharm, Notepad++, Vim, Sublime Text, and even we have Emacs. If you wanna go do things the traditional way, we have Emacs and many other IDEs, and they are very good. If you want to experiment with various IDEs, you can do so. But as for me, you'll mostly see me use the Visual Studio. And so if you look at my environment, if you'll be using Visual Studio, you've seen that my environment and yours will mostly look alike. So from there, we can now look at think about what we have learned so far. Let's have a recap of the things that we have checked and learned in this video. So Python is a hybrid language. That is, it's both compiled and interpreted programming language. This is something that I've told you oftenly, that Python is a hybrid language. It's not just, many people argue that it's an interpreted language, just an interpreted language. But like I said, Python is a hybrid language. That is, it's both compiled. As I once told you, Python runs on a virtual machine, that is the Python virtual machine, the PVM. And in the PVM comes with both a compiler and an interpreter. So Python code is compiled into bytecode, and then that bytecode is interpreted by the interpreter into machine code. Then Python code runs on the PVM. Then there's points which I've much emphasized. Always check the add to path option when installing Python in order to add it to the system variables and easily access it from the shell. Always check that one. And above all, don't forget the command python space hyphen version. Use Python space. I want to emphasize your space in Python and the double hyphen version are separate. So Python is space, then hyphen version, or Python 3 hyphen version command in the shell. If you're using Windows, that is a Windows PowerShell for Windows, to check if the Python interpreter or compiler has been successfully installed. So all these things that I've shown you guys are all you need to install Python. I've shown you various things. I've shown you the Windows. I've shown you how to navigate in the shell and to access Python. And it doesn't matter whether you're using a Windows, a Mac, or a Linux. If you follow the steps I have shown you, you will successfully install your Python and access it in the shell of the respective machine you are being able to use. Remember, adding Python to your variables enables your IDEs to be able to locate them, and so you won't have issues whereby you are trying to run your code in your IDE and then it starts running into errors of not locating the interpreter or not being able to execute the code. So next is to video, where we shall talk much more and see much more about Python and what we could do with it. So I'll see you in the next video where we shall dive deeper into Python and see how to efficiently use it to our advantage, because Python is a language of the present and of the future. Python will be here for quite a long time. It's not a language that is dying. Actually, the Python community is increasing at a very fast rate. The number of Python developers who are landed in the market is increasing as technology is evolving. And remember, technology doesn't just automatically evolve. It is people like you and me that will sit down and come up with ideas, and you make, and not just coming up with ideas but working on it. So whatever idea you have, use the technology that is available to make and implement it, and make it the now the technology that shall be used even to develop other technologies. So we'll be looking much more into how to write efficient Python code and various things into of Python. And so until then, I hope that you stay tuned, subscribe, and ring the bell icon so as not to miss any video posted on this channel. There's much more I have in store for you guys. So I hope that you stay around, watch the video, comment. I'm actually happy when you comment. When you watch the video and comment, it's quite very amazing. You know, it helps the YouTube algorithm to be able to realize that this video is a good catch, so I can recommend it to many other people. Actually, when you look at YouTube, actually that's another thing, application of AI. You know, when you hit on that like button, you are simply telling something to the YouTube algorithm. I'm telling you, AI is everywhere. When you watch Netflix, when you are using TikTok, all these things are now being embedded with artificial intelligence. So actually, make sure you subscribe, ring the bell icon, and above all, share the video. And I will see you in the next one. Until then, I wish you all the best. I wish you a nice time, and bye bye. Au revoir.